Yo, it's Randy, and welcome to Hustlin' Push-Ups, the dopest fitness show on the air, where I offer expert fitness advice, the hint of sarcasm. Today, we're going to tackle one of my favorite topics with more than just a hint of sarcasm, and that is waist trainers and their alleged impact on weight loss. Many people wonder if these trendy garments can really help shed those extra pounds. In this episode, we'll explore the truth behind waist trainers and their effects on weight loss. So let's get it. Before we get too deep, let's understand what a waist trainer is. A waist trainer is a tightly fitting garment designed to cinch the waist and create an hourglass-like appearance, not some magical fat loss device that replaces hard work. Contrary to popular belief, waist trainers do not directly contribute to weight loss. Here's why. Waist trainers work by compressing your midsection, which may create a temporary illusion of being snatched. But any weight loss you experience is likely due to water weight and not actual fat loss. As soon as you take the waist trainer off, your body's going to go right back to its natural shape. So if you're bloated, waist trainer away. But please realize you are not burning fat. It doesn't work that way. Fat loss happens when you create a caloric deficit through a combination of balanced diet and regular exercise. Wearing a waist trainer doesn't specifically target fat loss in the waist area. Spot reduction, while it sounds good, and the fitness industry will sell it to you as loudly and as often as possible, it is a myth. Our bodies lose fat in a genetically determined systemic pattern. Systemic meaning total body. So it's not just like your fat back or your chubby knees. It burns fat all at once, not all in one place, okay? Remember that. It's impossible to spot reduce body fat. Another thing about waist trainers is there can be some health risks. While they seem harmless, they can pose quite a few risks to your health. The tight compression can restrict your movement and limit your lung capacity. You need to be able to breathe, right? And using them for too long can also weaken your core muscles and affect your posture. And that's major, like especially as we age. Posture is important because our bone density starts to change and all of that. So you don't want to mess that up while you're young and then further complicate what's already going to happen to you as you age anyway. So instead of relying on waist trainers for weight loss, just focus on sustainable, healthy habits. Like incorporate a diet that consists of whole foods, plenty of fruits and vegetables. You know all of this stuff, right? And then make sure you exercise on a regular basis. Those are the things that you need to do to get your waist to where it needs to be. Waist training just isn't going to do that. To close this topic out, just focus on embracing your natural shape. Remember, beauty comes in all shapes and sizes, king or queen, whichever one you may be. And that applies to just about everything unless you're short. And if that's the case, there's no hope for that. I mean, I'm kidding. But instead of obsessing over waist training, just put in the work and be consistent. And you'll be able to get your body to exactly where you want it to be. You don't have to worry about crushing your lungs or having a false sense of weight loss when all you're doing is just smushing your fat together. Yeah, I said it just like that. So stop it. All right. So this week, what you meme, I have one of my favorites, and I'll tell you a brief story about me. What you meme is a section where I take a popular fitness meme and then we break it down and discuss it. Okay. So this week's meme is I thought it was the dryer that was shrinking my clothes, but I found out that it was the refrigerator. So about a year ago, around this time, or in the summertime, like right into the summertime, I had bought some Raglan shirts. And, when I got them, they fit pretty good. And then a few months had gone by and it started to get cooler. So, the sleeves were a little longer on these guys. I was going to start wearing them. And man, I put one of those shirts on and it was like, we don't. I know that, we fit when you first try this on, but we don't do this anymore. And I laughed like I'm doing now because I realized that the refrigerator had shrank my clothes. I was doing a lot of things. I was in school at the time and, focusing on getting a lot of things done and not really taking good care of myself. And I legitimately had to laugh and then put a plan together. And then about 2 months later, I was able to get back down to the weight that that I actually fit them in. And then I just tried to stay consistent and keep it going. So I like to use that example because, sometimes things get in the way and then you'll have weeks, which turn into months, which turn into years, which turn into, you see where I'm going, right? That you just kind of get off track and lose focus on what you need to do. But you can get yourself out of it if you just recognize it and take it for what it is. It's not time to throw a pity party. It's not time to say, woe is me. Then you can put that plan together and get right back to where you need to be, or even further than you thought you could be. So keep that in mind. All right, so this week's You Know What They Say is the old assumption that you can turn muscle into fat or fat into muscle. Check this out. Fat, also known as adipose tissue, cannot, I repeat, cannot be turned into muscle. They have two different functions in the body. So let's focus on what fat actually is, and then hopefully that'll help you realize why you cannot turn it into muscle, okay? So fat is a fuel source. What happens is when you eat beyond where you need to eat, your body will start to store anything extra as body fat. And over time, if you overaccumulate body fat, then that's when it starts to become unsightly. And that's the nice way of saying that, it don't look good anymore, right? And the only way to get rid of that fat is to burn it and have your body use it as fuel. The way that you build muscle is by improving your body's nitrogen balance, which pretty much comes down to eating the proper amount of protein and making sure that you're in a mild caloric surplus so that you can grow in response to the training that you've done. That's all training really is. It's your body adapting to stresses that you put it through, okay? The fitness industry and probably some of our coaches, probably some of our parents, all of those people are to blame for us thinking that we can turn one into the other or vice versa. Your body's way too complex. Each of these tissues is way too specific in what it does to be able to just be magically transformed into anything else. On the topic of magic, throughout this podcast, you will hear me say that word a lot because we believe in it when it comes to fitness, and it just does not exist. The only magic in fitness is hard work, discipline, consistency. Hard work, discipline, consistency. That's it, okay? I'm off my soapbox. I'm back to just coach and not preach it. All right, so this week's song of the week comes from the deluxe version of Killer Mike's album, Michael, and it is Get Some Money. I'm a real big fan of Killer Mike. I have been since the Dungeon Family days. This album is probably my favorite rap album of the year. It's a toss-up between him and Travis Scott, but this song is one of the hardest songs I have heard in a very long time. The beat is good. Killer Mike's flow is always impressive, and yeah, it go. So if you get some time, check it out. All right, that's all I got for you this week. As always, we have laughed a little, hopefully learned a lot. Some of the things I've said may have triggered you to do better, and I hope that's the case. Some of them, though, may have just triggered you. And if that is the case, always remember, don't blame me, blame science. That's still not good enough for you. As always, fight me. If you or anyone you know is looking for a trainer, I'm your guy. You reach out to me at www.randyaikensfitness.com. Also, you can download my app. It's called Tribe on both the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. All right, see you next week. Peace.